The Christchurch Cathedral is a historical landmark in Christchurch, which was built between 1864 to 1904. In 2011, the earthquakes finished it off and is now being rebuilt under reconstruction, but reconstruction is now currently paused and a lack of money coming into it. Today, I'll be interviewing the general public and their opinions on the current cathedral state, like it will ever be rebuilt, and I'll maybe also talk about the cardboard cathedral. I'm Jake Mulcaine, this is the Newsroom, and we'll transition over to our first speaker, who will go by as the average Cantabrian. What's your general opinion on the current cathedral, well, its state right now?
It's kind of sad, isn't it?
Do you think it'll be finished by 2027?
Hell no.
And who do you think should actually pay for it? The government, the councillors, or the people?
It needs to be a partnership, I guess. So
Mhm.
I think as ratepayers would be happy to fork out some money, but I don't know.
It's kind of paused now.
It's definitely paused, yeah.
And do you think the cardboard cathedral is a good temporary replacement for it at all?
I think it's functional. I mean, when I drive past, I see services happening in it, so it must be physically, suitable for doing what it needs to do, but it's not really cardboard per se, is it? It's just a kind of a buzzword on green.
And do you think it's more of a tourist attraction, the cardboard cathedral, with its current state?
No, I think it's more of a functional location. It always seems to have services and stuff.
Do you think they should just demolish it or just leave it here, or?
I don't know. Either leave it, and then it can remind us how shitty we are at getting projects done, or just commit to doing it.
And you think Christchurch should spend their money on better things instead of this cathedral?
Nah, history is important, and sort of it connects us back to England, and it connects us back to tradition itself, so I think we just need to fork out some money and do it.
And if this ever finished getting built, would you ever go to it?
Heck yeah.
And are you religious yourself?
I am, yeah.
Do you know if I can have a name, please? You don't have to say, but if you want to.
Nah,
for this
I'll just be like typical Cantabrian.
Okay. Thank you so much. So do you think they should continue the construction of it, because I've kind of been paused on it?
It's an important part of the heritage of Christchurch, so if they value that, then yeah, they should continue construction.
Whose job do you think it should be for funding it? Do you think it should be the governments or the councils or the people?
I think the governments to fund it, maybe, or at least get the council funding to be able to do it.
Do you think it would be finished by 2027 with their estimates?
No, I don't think so. It doesn't
Not
look
at all.
like it. It looks pretty far off.
Do you think when they finish rebuilding it, it'll become a tourist attraction to repay off the amount of money they've put into it?
I don't know if you'd make enough money from the tourists to pay off that, but yeah.
And I'll ask you one more question. Are you religious yourself at all?
No.
Would you come to use the Christchurch Cathedral if it ever got finished?
No, I'd probably visit it more in like a tourist sense, but
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you so much. How the Christchurch Cathedral rebuild is going right now?
Pretty hopeless, and a waste of time and a waste of money.
And do you think it should be the government's job or the public's job to donate towards it?
For the Christchurch people should pay for it, but I think that maybe the decisions at the beginning, why do we have to recreate something that wasn't really a flash building in the first place? We could have better used the money for a modern building, but incorporating some of the old stuff.
And do you think it'll be finished by 2027
No.
or? No, not at all?
Well, it's still sitting there idle. Where's the money coming from?
And do you think the cardboard cathedral was ever a good idea when they
Well,
decided to rebuild it?
yes, as a temporary measure, but yeah, I don't know. That was a quick, good, excellent interim measure, yeah. But it's a shame that this, Christchurch senior people wanted to reinstate the cathedral. I don't think that was a good idea.
And do you think with the cardboard cathedral that they currently have, do you think they're using it as a tourism, or do you think they're actually using it as the Christchurch cathedral?
No, it's not really a tourist attraction, is it? It was just a temporary measure for people to worship if they wanted to, and to do any stuff like that, I suppose, while this cathedral is being renovated.
Are you religious yourself? Are you?
I consider myself Christian, but not really religious. I don't practice regularly.
Okay.
But I like I'm a CFE. But, association. I went to your school.
Yep. Thank you so much. What's your general opinion on its current state?
The cathedral's a historic part of Christchurch, so, it's a great centrepiece here, and I'd love to see it, thriving again. Yeah.
And do you think they should continue putting funds into it?
Yes, no, absolutely. I do believe they should, again, it's a historical landmark for Christchurch, so I'd love to see funds being put back into it and get it back up and running.
And whose job do you think that should be? The government, the people, or the councils?
The government or the councils, probably preferably not push back onto ratepayers.
And do you think the cardboard cathedral was a good idea for a second option for it?
No, not at all. Get it back up and running.
And do you think when they get it back up and running, people would use the cardboard cathedral? Or do you think they should just sell it?
I'm not sure, actually. No comment on that one, sorry.
Would you call the cardboard cathedral more of a tourist attraction for how they've gone with it?
No. We need to get the cathedral back up.
And would you use it yourself when it went back, if it ever went back up?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've got small kids. We often travel for work and whatnot. Absolutely. Like, it's a great place to walk around.
And-
It's a beautiful landmark and structure.
Are you religious yourself?
No, I'm not.
And do you think that it would be more, they should make the cardboard cathedral more of a tourist attraction to get better funding off it once it's finished?
Possibly. I mean, more money's better for New Zealand if that's what, we can get.
Okay. So what is your general opinion on the current state of the Christchurch Cathedral?
I think it's a shame for the city that it's left the way it is.
Yes.
Yes.
And do you think it should be the government's job, the council's job, or the people's job to try continue funding it?
I actually think it should be the church's job to continue funding it, like the Anglican Church should fund the restoration.
Do you think they haven't been doing enough promotion, or do you think they haven't really been doing their job?
I don't know. I don't think that they consider it their responsibility.
They've just left it here.
Yeah, they've just left it, which is a shame.
And do you think the cardboard cathedral is a good temporary replacement?
Yes, yeah,
for
I
it?
do.
And do you think it's more of a tourist attraction, the cardboard cathedral, with its current state?
Definitely, I see lots and lots of groups of Asian visitors going to the cardboard cathedral. So
And do you think when it's finished rebuilt, will you use the cathedral at all?
I doubt it very much.
Do you think
yeah.
the whole entirety of Christchurch would ever use it that much?
I don't think a lot of people. I think it's lost its significance for a lot of people since the rebuild of the city.
And back when the earthquakes happened in 2011, what were they initially promising with the cathedral?
Bishop Victoria Matthews
Yes.
wanted to rebuild something more modern in place of the cathedral, and it didn't really get the buy-in. So, but I don't know if that was a good decision or not.
And do you think they had the money, but they just decided to spend it incorrectly?
I really don't know, but
Okay.
yeah, really don't know.
And do you think Christchurch should spend money on like buildings, I don't know, let's say transportation, or do you think they should more try and invest in the cathedral?
No, I don't think the cathedral's a priority for a lot
At
of
all?
people in Christchurch now. No, not
So you
at
think they should
all.
leave it here or demolish it?
I would like to see it restored because it more is a symbolism than anything else, but I'm not really sure who's going to pay for it.
Do you know if I have a name, please?
Margaret.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Margaret.
okay.
And are you religious yourself too?
I'm not, no.
Okay. Thank
No.
you so much for the interview.
You're welcome.
Thank
Good
you.
luck. Okay,
Thank you.
see you.
See ya. Throughout the whole interview of 5 people, I got some mixed results. People's opinions on the cathedral's current state are negative, saying it's a shame and pretty hopeless. Looking more into the cardboard cathedral, 3 out of 4 people thought it was a good replacement for the cathedral. And then I decided to go to the tourist attraction side, and 3 out of 4 people said no, that the cardboard cathedral isn't a tourist attraction. But none of them really had any backup claims for this, but the one person who actually said yes mentions that lots of Asians go to it. 3 out of 5 people are not religious, and 2 out of 3 people said once it's finished getting rebuilt, they would go to it. Most people had a mixed opinion on who would actually pay for it, for the cathedral itself, but the majority of them said the government. And for some context on the cathedral's current state, on the official Christchurch Cathedral restoration website, they say that the project will cost $248 million, with them have only funded $134 million. And yes, currently construction is still on hold, sadly, but they did give me a free tour, and you actually get to see the full inside of it, which is pretty cool, not just the outside like last time when I went on the religious tour. And also, they only ask you for your full name and phone number, not your credit card information. I wonder where they'll get $140 million from to fund the cathedral.
Hi, my name is Wolf Benito, and I'm a Year 11 student at Christ College. I have been studying what makes a person financially successful. I've interviewed Lucy Benito, a local chocolate company owner who has built her company from the ground up. I've also interviewed my dad, Ed Benito, who is a major property investor. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy.
I'm Wolfie, and I've chosen to interview my aunt for her chocolate business and my dad for his property investments for my English project, What Makes a Person Financially Successful. My first question is, what attitude/mindset should a person have to be successful?
Firstly, I believe they need perseverance.
Positive.
They need consistency and resilience. You've got to be consistent every day. You've got to be working at it. You've got to be resilient because it's tough out there, and you're going to have lots of knocks. And even the smallest of knocks will make you want to give up, but don't. You've got to just flex your tough muscles and get on and pick yourself up.
And always look for the word yes. Don't really accept the word no. So I will look for a yes. But most importantly, I think the mindset is that whatever you do, and this isn't just property, I think this is everything, is that you do it honestly and you do it with integrity.
Where did you begin and how have you made it this far?
Oh, I began in the kitchen bench top about 12, 14 years ago now, actually.
First property I bought was when I was 30.
And I made it this far by consistently working on the growth of my business every single day. And that is pretty much consistently almost every single day. But, even if it's an email or something, I really do believe in consistency and perseverance.
A friend of mine couldn't buy this property, and because I had a positive mindset and was always looking for yes, he offered it to me. It was a very, very good deal. I snapped at the opportunity. I didn't get to see this property for about 4 months to 4 months later via photos, and physically didn't see it for 2 years later. But it was a great investment property. It was 30 years ago, and it got me in the game.
What strategies have helped you increase your income?
Getting advice from people that are far more financially literate than myself, learning from these people as well, and employing really, really good people that are very much aligned with your culture. I think culture is more important than skills in some cases.
Reinvesting back into property. So I've never taken an income from it as of yet, but I reinvest it, I remortgage, I create leverage, and then put that back into it.
What's your approach to saving money consistently?
Oh, it's incredible, the power of compounding interest. I wish I'd done more of it when I was younger, because you're getting interest on the interest and the interest. So saving consistently and not touching it is quite a powerful tool.
Don't spend it unnecessarily. I'm always looking for tracking the interest rates. That's probably one of the biggest expenses, and if you can make sure you're on top of that, and you can try and time the market so you're staying in with lower interest rates, then that will be your biggest saving.
How do you track and manage your expenses consistently?
I use a really good accounting software. I use Xero. I also have a really, really good bookkeeper who's pedantic about the details. It's so important to code everything correctly and to be really focused on the details so everything lines up.
So the best way for that for me is to create a team around you. And so I create a good team of lawyers, accountants, and property managers, and that team look after me.
What financial mistakes have you learned from in the past?
I don't think that they're all. I don't know if they're mistakes. I know that I've spent too much money on some ideas that never went anywhere. But then I always think, well, how do you know until you know? It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to mess up, and you're going to do that anyway. So just be bold and do it anyway. Don't let money stand in the way of a good idea.
Not keeping up with government changes, and they've been very influential over the years, but you must keep up with government and council changes, because you need to try and preempt that and get ahead of the game.
What's one piece of financial advice you would give to your younger self?
Save. Do a little bit of saving every week. I never did that, and I wish I had. Now I've got KiwiSaver. They weren't around when I was young, but KiwiSaver, is a good scheme. So if you can, even if you think you don't need it in the future, just get on board with a KiwiSaver scheme now.
Buy more property. Buy. Buy. There's never a bad time to buy property. I wish I bought it as soon as I came out of the womb. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Gus Naylor and I'm a Year 11 boy at Christ College. My investigative journalism topic is the future of Christchurch Airport. Throughout my findings, I've interviewed Justin Watson, the CEO of Christchurch Airport, and the General Manager of Strategy and Sustainability, Reece Boswell. These interviews will help us explore what the future holds for Christchurch Airport.
Justin Watson and Reece Boswell now explain how Christchurch Airport grows.
We grow by getting more passengers coming through the airport, and in order to get more passengers we have to get more airlines from different places around the world to fly. Like we recently had a new service from Christchurch to Cairns in Australia. 2 years ago we had a new service from Christchurch to San Francisco.
I guess we grow in two ways. One is we measure our growth through the number of passengers that pass through the terminal, which drives how many planes need to fly in and out of this airport. And so that's all driven by demand, by passenger demand, whether people want to travel for work or for holiday or for some other social or business need. That's what drives the number of passengers, which drives the number of planes.
Justin Watson now explains what part of the business is most profitable.
So mainly duty free, because duty free you can buy it without having to pay tax or duty on it. So people often spend more money buying those types of products like electronics and perfume.
Here are some things that may slow the business down.
If economic conditions, globally if economic conditions slow down, where people are losing their jobs or are finding it tough when, say, costs go up, then they won't travel as much. And if they don't travel as much, we won't get as many passengers coming in.
A few categories. One is sort of day-to-day issues. We experience disruptions that can be caused by either weather events. So you possibly be aware that sometimes, aviation has to operate in all kinds of weather. There are some weather events which make it harder to operate.
Justin Watson and Reece Boswell now explain what the future of Christchurch Airport will be like in the next 10 years.
We will continue to grow. We're the second largest airport in New Zealand, and in 10 years' time we will be that. But the types of aircraft that people fly on in 10 years' time might be quite different. You might fly on quite smaller electric aircraft that are more like drones.
I've got the benefit of having been here for more than 10 years. So look, in 10 years I can say with confidence we will be more sustainable. Right? We will continue on our journey of trying to trying to achieve improvements in how we perform as an airport operator, and we're also going to be continuing to strive to help other parts of the airport system, ecosystem, be more sustainable in their operations as well.
How does sustainability factor into your long-term planning and growth?
Ultimately, aviation has to transition from using fossil fuels to not using fossil fuels, which will be electric aircraft or aircraft powered by different fuel sources like hydrogen or sustainable aviation fuel. And so sustainability is really important for us as an airport, because unless airlines and airports can move to that, then there won't be a future for aviation.
Justin and Reese now explain what are some threats to the future of Christchurch Airport.
I mean, ultimately there's threats around climate change. There are increasingly more days that have fog. Increasingly there's more days that have a lot of rain that create chaos for airports. There's more days that are drier and create risks around our land catching on fire and creating a hazard. So climate change is probably the biggest impact and threat that airports face, but it's not just airports, it's everyone in Christchurch, because they all deal with these same issues.
There are global issues that, and Justin might have talked about these, but there are global issues that disrupt aviation, and the best recent example of that was the pandemic, where all flying was stopped everywhere in the world.
Reese Boswell now explains how Christchurch Airport defines sustainability.
Look, I think we define it by protecting the environment, supporting our community, what aircraft are going to look like and what they're going to need to operate. And we're doing things like making investments in Kowhai Park. So Justin might have talked about Kowhai Park. We've got a large amount of land to the far side of the airport that we're going to start using to generate solar energy. We believe that renewable energy is going to be an important part of how the next generation of aircraft operate, and having a reliable source of renewable and affordable energy.
Sustainability, and the largest initiative that we have at the moment is New Zealand's biggest solar farm that we're currently building at the moment, that will in the future power electric aircraft or produce hydrogen from green electricity for a more sustainable future.